funny, hyper violent, a bit heartwarming at sometimes, and overall batshit insane in the best way possible. How's it going, guys? I'm Chase Lee, reporting for DallasMovieScreens.com, and I got another movie to review for you guys, and that would be Deadpool. Um, yeah, I remember when the test footage leaked last year, and it got so much publicity that 20th Century Fox was like, "Yeah, we should probably greenlight this project." And I remember when they announced that, and I remember the internet was broken. The internet like literally broke its back, and someone had to prop the internet up and like carry it to the finish line because everyone in the fan community that especially love the Marvel comic books, they know who Deadpool is, and they know this character, and it's been years upon years of waiting to get this movie off the ground. And apparently Deadpool has claimed another victim because there's a siren in the background. So yeah, this movie was made in just about a year. And so how was it? How was this the first superhero movie of 2016 among 6 of them? Well, let's get real and break this down. So just to give you guys a little backstory, Deadpool is a mercenary, so he's really good at killing people, and he kills bad people, but he's also kind of bad in some ways, so that makes him an anti-hero where he kind of blurs the lines on what's right and what's wrong, just in layman's terms. And he is subject to an experiment because he made this choice for a specific reason in the movie, and this experiment kind of left him looked like a burnt potato. And so he has accelerating healing powers and stuff, and he's really good at killing, so he's like the ultimate assassin. But what makes Deadpool so great is that he is zany, he is off the wall, his humor is out the door. Like, he is an insane character in his own right, with his humor and his violence and just the way he talks to people. He breaks the fourth wall all the time. He talks he talks out of the comic panel in the comic books and stuff. So that's essentially who Deadpool is. So with that being said, let's get to the review. Let's start with the directing and the writing. Let's start with the pros. Now, it's written by the guys who actually wrote Zombieland, and I think for the most part, writing and directing-wise, they fully capture the tone, the atmosphere, and the spirit of Deadpool. I'm telling you, from the beginning to the very end, this movie is so much fun. It looks at itself and goes, you know what? I'm not going to be that serious. I'm going to have a crap ton of fun. And that's exactly what this movie is. These writers and this director really take Deadpool and make it their own, and they really just kind of embrace this character, the craziness of Deadpool. And I really appreciate that for the most part. Directing-wise, on the pros, for Mr. Tim Miller, I do like the fact that he allowed Ryan Reynolds and TJ Miller and pretty much everyone else on set to ad-lib, and it looked like the actors were having fun, and that plays into the story and the characters and stuff, and it just makes Deadpool even more likable and more fun to watch. So I do appreciate Mr. Tim Miller for letting the actors and the actresses kind of just go a little free, and that's what Deadpool would have wanted in the comics, so it makes perfect sense. For some of the negatives, I gotta tell you, some of the humor didn't work for me. Some of it was a little too raunchy or a little too R-rated, which is weird to say since I love that stuff. And I think, and partially it's my fault, because I watched the Red Band trailers, and all the jokes in the Red Band trailers are in the movie, but you've seen them so many times to where you're just like, okay, I mean, that was fine. The joke is still kind of humorous, I guess. You kind of smirk a little bit, but you're not like laughing out of your chair like some of the other jokes that hit in this movie do. Like, there are some jokes in this movie that hit you so hard, and they come out of left field, and you're just like, where did that come from? That was excellent. I think TJ Miller actually has more of the funny lines than Ryan Reynolds does, and Ryan Reynolds is a talented actor in comedy and drama, and he's really good at ad-libbing. TJ Miller is just, above him when it comes to ad-libbing, which is not a problem. They work together very well in the movie. But like I said, I think with the director's free reign on the ad-libbing and stuff, it makes it for a more fun, entertaining movie, and especially with Deadpool's character. Getting into the acting, starting with the positives, Ryan Reynolds was born to play this character. He is off the wall. He is offbeat. He is zany. He is humorous. He is actually somewhat dramatic. I think the one thing excuse me, the one thing that caught me off guard with Ryan Reynolds' performance is that there was a lot of heartwarming moments. And, since his face and his whole body is kind of burnt and he looks like a crusty old rag or whatever, he's got to do a lot of facial acting. He's got to do a lot of eye acting. And so there were a couple of scenes where I was like, oh, wow, this kind of took a very somber and kind of heartwarming, gloomy turn. Like it was weird. It was like gloomy and kind of uplifting at the same time. Like there was a couple of scenes where that was some of the best Ryan Reynolds acting I've seen in quite some time. And I was like, huh, okay then. Like he really does like this character. So I really appreciate that. I got to see a nice little range from Ryan Reynolds. But when the comedy hit from him, the comedy really hit. And like I said, he's been championing his character for so long. He deserves all the praise. He's great in the movie. And then, like I said, T.J. Miller is really great. I love him. And I'm curious to see where he goes in the sequels or whatever. But he was really funny. I really liked his camaraderie with Ryan Reynolds and just the way he interacted with him and stuff. I could listen to them two talk the whole time talking about how Ryan Reynolds looks like a testicle with teeth. So T.J. Miller is really great. Ed Skrein. Now listen, I absolutely hated Transporter Refueled from last year. I was like, oh my God, why are we doing these movies? You're a corp. So Ed Skrein was good in this movie. Now, I thought he was fine and menacing, but overall his character was kind of flat for me, and I kind of wanted to see more of like his organization and kind of that whole program where he takes these people, kidnaps them basically, and applies these experiments on them, and then they essentially turn into superheroes. And like I said, he was serviceable, he was fine, and he actually looked really good in some of the action sequences, but for the most part he was kind of flat and just like, yeah, it's whatever. He's not like a great villain that you're going to remember forever. And, superhero movies, some of the best ones have the better villains than the heroes. So I don't know. I wasn't expecting much, but I kind of wish there was a little bit more to his character and a little bit more backstory and more in depth of him and the organization that kidnaps Deadpool, a.k.a. Wade Wilson, in the beginning of the movie. Gina Carano. Okay, so I think she's a very gorgeous woman, and I think she's a very talented woman when it comes to action sequences and fight choreography. I still don't buy her as an actress in terms of her speaking. Now, she's been in Fast and Furious movies. She was in Haywire and stuff, and Haywire was I believe it was dubbed over and stuff, and she's kind of like a Ronda Rousey, where like, oh, please, ladies, don't kick my ass. They're very flat and very stale when it comes to their acting. Like they just don't try at all, and they rely on their popularity of their names and where they came from in terms of their sports backgrounds than their acting chops. And Gina Carano's just like whatever. Like she's like you said, she's a gorgeous woman and she can kick a lot of ass. But in terms of this movie, it's like no, still not buying it. The X-Men that appear, they're really good. I really like Colossus and stuff, and this was kind of like he was the segue to show that Deadpool is a part of this X-Men universe and stuff. So, yeah, they were fine. They were serviceable for the story and stuff. And it's really funny to see a PG-13 X-Men, that cares about people and doesn't want to kill people, interact with someone like Deadpool, who's the anti-hero, and he's just offing people left and right. And Colossus is like, what are you doing? Like, he's just like, it's just another day, Colossus, get out of here. Like, I love the kind of like that back and forth of R-rated X-Men versus PG-13 X-Men. It was pretty good, so I really enjoyed it. But yeah, the acting overall was very good. It looked like they all had a lot of fun on set. Cinematography-wise, I actually liked some of the action sequences. They were filmed very well. They were kinetic. They were just chaotic. They were bloody. It reminded me a lot of Kick-Ass's violence and their action sequences and fight choreography. Yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Now, there's a few scenes where it looks like this was a low-budgeted movie. They can't really help that. Deadpool was given a certain amount. Do not exceed that, because this is an experiment. Because if this movie does really, really well, 20th Century Fox, you'll hear the very next day announce sequels, crossovers, you name it. But for right now, it's kind of a risky move, so you have to lower the budget. And there are a few scenes where it's like, you can tell that was like a set or whatever, but Some of the action sequences and the violence in the movie was handled very, very well, especially with some of the slow motion and whatnot, and just the way Deadpool is in slow motion. Like it's pretty funny because he's not thinking about the actual fight; he's thinking about other stuff, or he's telling us the story or whatever. I don't know. It's just it's filmed very well for the budget that they were given. Editing wise, it's about an hour 40, hour 45, I believe. Flies by. This is one of the most entertaining movies I've seen in quite some time. Whether you don't think the jokes are that funny, the story, the characters, and just the overall nature of the movie is so entertaining and so engaging, and you are sucked in from the moment it starts that you will be entertained, I believe. Now, if you're not into raunchy humor, I don't think you're going to be necessarily too happy with this movie. There's really nothing you can do about that because it's like, that's who Deadpool is, and it's rated R, folks. So don't bring your kids to this. Especially don't bring your kids to this. This is a very, it's like a light R-rated movie in some parts, but then it's like hard R. So it's like, it's really funny how it flip-flops. But for me, I thought the pace of the movie was dead on. I felt like someone gave me a Deadpool comic for the very first time, and I started reading it, and this is what I got. So overall, guys, I think this is a very entertaining superhero movie. I laughed a lot in some parts, but I didn't laugh in most of the parts. I do like the chemistry between all the actors. I like the action sequences. I think this is a franchise to where if it does really well the first weekend, I cannot wait to see what 20th Century Fox does with the sequels, and then particularly Planting Deadpool, which is a merc with a mouth. That's his nickname. His dirty mouth and his violent temper put him in the PG-13 X-Men and see how that works. I don't know how they're going to do it, but we'll just have to wait and see. So, guys, this was a fun time at the theaters. If you're not a superhero fan, you probably won't like this, but if you want something refreshing and new on the superhero take, since he is an anti-hero and, he kind of blurs the lines when it comes to what's good and what's bad, it does come off as refreshing in this genre. So for me personally, guys, I'm going to give Deadpool a B+. So with that being said, guys, have you seen Deadpool or have you heard of it? Of course you've heard of it. This marketing campaign is insane. It is everywhere. Everyone has heard of this movie. So comment in the place above my face and let me know what you thought of Deadpool. And if you're looking forward to it, where does it rank among all your superhero movies coming out this year and stuff? It was up there for me. I think it was my most anticipated. So I was not disappointed at all. And I think a B+ is a pretty good score for this movie. So Deadpool. I really want to see it again. So that's all I got to say. So I'm Chase Lee, guys, reporting for DallasMovieScreens.com. And tune in next time for whatever I review next. I will see you guys later.